All right, everyone, we are here with War Map 10 of the season. So last leg of the season at a glance. That's assuming the season doesn't come to an end. We're on the last leg of the season. As I've said before, thank your officers for the work and time they put in. And this is not a full-blown planning video. This is just a quick abstract talking about matchups. So first things first, we're going to take a look at bans. This ban we have Archangel, Human Torch, and Herc. So for the first time, Ghost has not been banned. So maybe looking at this map, we're going to see hopefully, probably, not hopefully, probably, some limiting Ghost paths. Otherwise, we are just going to rip this apart with Ghost. Not really, New Nation, we haven't really done that. Note here on the boss, Sorcerer Supreme, Symbiote Supreme, Diablo would probably work, Hood would probably work, even S99. Sorcerer here, S99, Mr. Fantastic, Magic are your first few go-tos. There might even be a case that Mr. Negative can weasel his way into finishing this fight fast enough before high ground becomes an issue. Looking at this penny, we've got Venom Pull as an option. We've got White Magneto pre-fight and using things like Warlock as an option. You also got Corvus as an option if you can ramp him up. Kitty here, you can use maybe Silver Centurion, Guardian, or G99, but a bit of a risk. Maybe Apocalypse could be pretty fun, but I think your best option is going to be a Vision, someone who doesn't have debuffs and can keep her power really, really low. Chavez here, Immortal Abomination we've used before. You can use Tigra. Probably just use Void and just never ever parry or gain power. Infinity War Iron Man on Rage here. We've got Void as an option. I-Bomb might work. We have Horseman Cable available, so that might even be an option for nuking it down before high ground actually ruins you. Magneto here, we've got Red Hulk, we've got Kingpin most likely. Trying to think, you do not have Angela. I think those would be the only two I can think of off the top of my head because of the Incinerate and Poison immunity necessary. Oh, CMM was another. And then Bishop here, you can use Cable, you can use Warlock, you could use Quake. There are plenty of options there. Moving on to section 2. Nimrod here, you can use Quake, you can use Nebula, you could probably even use Claire in Poison with Suicides and a Power Start 1. So pretty common placement here that we've seen before. Path 1, pretty simple. You could probably Ghost the whole thing or Quake P99 or use a Warlock for P99. If you don't want to use Ghost, you can go ahead and use Moleman or Shang-Chi for Wasp. Path 2 would probably recommend an Apocalypse. I don't think that'll be too much of an issue for him, especially once he gets the Disorient immunity up. And then if you use any of the other options, obviously like S99 for Mangog, but play smart and start with a Power Start 1, and then Hulkbuster there, maybe Magneto. And then Path 3, Silver Surfer, that's most likely a man thing. You can use Claire, you can use Apocalypse, who already ran Suicides and has the bleed immunity built up. So those would be my top go-to options for those. Looking down here at Human Torch, you could get away with S99, but if you're blocking a lot and he builds Incinerate, you're going to want that immunity. You can use an Odin pre-fight and probably use champions like Cable or Apocalypse and just try to nuke it down quick. So those would be, just off the top of my head, the first few options. Probably really safe with Claire and Odin pre-fight too. Or another Incinerate immune. MODOK here, Moleman, Kingpin, Shang-Chi, Falcon, just play it smart. Path 4 there, probably a Moleman or a Falcon for that Spider-Ham or a Kingpin, and then use Kingpin for Null there. You can use Doom as well. Path 5, any counter really for Yellow Jacket, like a Falcon or a Shang-Chi or a Kingpin or a Moleman, and then go ahead and use Namor or Ghost if you're comfortable with it for that whole path. Ghost for Killmonger, and then Path 6 there, Nimrod, Magic, Doom for Apocalypse, and then have another option there for Magneto. And then Maw here, Quake after the boss goes down. You can use Doom, Probably Sorcerer Supreme works, but it's a long fight. So this is, again, another pretty common placement that most people wait for the boss to go down. JP here, Storm Pyramid X I've used before with a White Magneto pre-fight. Apocalypse. And if you want to risk it, Cable and Archangel with a White Magneto pre-fight, but here it's just, I mean, you could even use Doom and power drain her and focus more on kinetic transference than the fact that she cleanses. Path 1 or Path 7 here, Warlock for that domino. You could quake it if you've got someone really comfortable quaking, and then you can quake Mr. Negative there. Falcon or Shang-Chi for Mr. Negative, or even Moleman. Path 8 there, you could probably Doom the whole thing. You can probably clear the whole thing. You can quake Venom, and then you could use your option for Storm Pyramid X. I've seen people use Howard the Duck for that. And then Path 9 out here, I would just ghost that. It's a pretty straightforward ghost fight. All your other options for Guardian can be a bit trickier, and then Moleman or someone similar to Moleman for Void there if you decide you don't want to ghost it. Trying to think, there's probably just other options with Odin pre-fights that'll work. So like a Venom pull with an Odin no, you won't need it. You need it for the bleed. So you could use Venom pull for Guardian there and just not attack during bleed. And then Sasquatch here, you can use Ghost, can use Apocalypse and build that disorient immunity, or you could just shrug it and use someone like Kingpin or Moleman. Probably Kingpin because of Mystic Dispersion, or probably Moleman because of Mystic Dispersion. Fury here, Apocalypse or Quake. Doom here, Quake, Mr. Negative, S99, Void. So this is a rank 4. I think they're just hoping to get somebody with the health pool and whatnot. Man Thing here, you can probably Quake it and out damage the Masochism. You can use Rolk or Omega Red, but have a Odin pre-fight and hope it doesn't get nullified. Path 1, you could Quake the whole thing, or sorry, not Quake the whole thing. You could Ghost the whole thing. You'd use Doom for Tigra, and then you could use like a Warlock or another Poison Immune for I-Bomb. Corvus, or sorry, Path 2, probably Doom or Quake for Corvus, and then Falcon or Killmonger or Moleman for Overseer or even Fury, and then Void there, or sorry, Longshot there, I'd use Void. You can probably use S99. You could probably use Mr. Negative since it'll probably end in one SP2. So a couple options for this 1 through 3. All right, empty node here. So Path 1, Moleman, Killmonger, or sorry, Moleman, Kingpin, Shang-Chi I've used for Thing before. Path 5, probably you can use Apocalypse the whole way, or just use Apocalypse for Hitmonkey and then use someone like Doom for Red Goblin. And then Path 6 here, S99 or Mr. Negative for Mojo, and then, you know, like a Cable or Apocalypse or another evade counter like Fury for Black Widow, Deadly Origin. So nothing too problematic there, 4 through 6. Moleman there, can Ghost it. Could probably use Rolk. I've seen people use Rolk on shifting hazards against the Moleman. Could even use CMM with the Fury synergy so that you stay in binary longer. So not too problematic of a node placement there. Looking at Path 7, you know, Hulk counter, you can use Warlock, Falcon, Fury, and then for Terrax there, he's just never going to lose the rock field, so Namor, dupe CGR or undupe CGR, just nuke it down. Path 8, nothing special about that Phoenix there, just play smart. You can use Doom, you can use Claire, you could use Cable, honestly. You use Cable with Apocalypse. And then Path 9 there, CMM, Rolk, whatever you're sending at that Moleman Ghost, just be smart during Professor X or verse Professor X. And that's all there really is to it. So that was map 10. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it helps you guys, and I will catch you guys at War Attack when that video drops. Hit subscribe and like/share it.